everyone. Hey, how's everyone doing?
How are you guys doing? Welcome to Cash Money Class versus Student Resources.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
In the chat, how
Michaela, how are you doing?
Me, I'm doing good. Today was a pretty good day. Had some fun earlier. Shout out Smile Camp, yeah.
Yes, today was so good. Today was Smile Camp. So we're all like on a little Smile Camp high. Everybody's excited. Mike likes the song. It's Barbie Dreams. All right, y'all. So we're gonna get started into today's presentation. But of course, before we get started, we have to say our land acknowledgement and prayer. And we're gonna have Michaela start us off.
Okay. Out of our deep respect for Indigenous peoples in Canada, we acknowledge that all Toronto Catholic District School Board properties are situated upon traditional territories of the Anishinaabeg, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat peoples. We also acknowledge the land covered by Treaty 13 is held by the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and Toronto is subject to the Dish with One Spoon Covenant. We also recognize the contributions and enduring presence of all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples in Ontario and the rest of Canada.
Thank you, Michaela. Now, if you feel comfortable, let's all sign ourselves in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Almighty God, of those who only gift of whose only gifts comes wisdom and understanding. We beseech you with your gracious favor to behold our universities, colleges, and schools, that knowledge may be increased among us, and all good learning flourish and abound. Bless all who teach and all who learn, and grant that in humility of heart they may ever look unto you, who is the fountain of all wisdom, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right. So before we get into our first activity, Michaela, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say, how good is your financial literacy?
I'd say like a 4.5. It's not the best.
Yeah, no, same. I'm not going to lie. I could probably use a lot of help. I would say I'm a 4 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
We're
say
gonna
I'm
have to pay attention today.
Yeah, but I think we should test the audience.
Should we?
I think we should test the audience in a Kahoot.
Let's do it.
Let's see how much you guys really know. Right?
Let's see who's on top.
Oh, did I share the wrong screen? I definitely just shared the wrong screen. All right.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I'll know half of these answers. So
let's see.
We'll see.
All right.
Okay, so open up another tab, use your phone, enter the code,
Yes.
Kahoot. Let's see who comes out on top.
Let's see. Because I don't know. Personally, whenever it comes to financial literacy, I always get a little bit lost. I definitely don't know all the concepts that are out there, but yeah, we have Logan. That's one of our speakers today.
Jam. I like jam. Let's see how we can. Yeah, like strawberry jam.
Yes. I actually made jam before. Like I went to a strawberry field, picked them out, made them. That was kind of like a unique experience because I don't really usually do that. Yeah.
I've made butter before, if that counts, but I mean.
Yeah, like you just shake it up, right?
You shake it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the dancing emoji, okay.
Yeah. All right. I think we should get started. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Kahuda.
Cash Money
Class.
True or false? You ideally want to spend at least 30%, preferably 20% less than your income.
I think it's true.
I think it's false.
Really?
30%? seems a little unrealistic. Like, I don't know. It seems a little unrealistic, but
Maybe. Oh,
yeah,
it's false.
yeah,
Wow.
it's false, definitely.
A lot of people thought it was true.
Yeah, I don't really see how that would work.
Ooh, we got Lori in first place. Okay.
All right. Emergency funds aren't necessary at my age. Oh, this is a good question. I mean, do you guys have like emergency funds at this age? Like personally, like not your parents' one, like your own personal one?
I mean, I have one, but I feel like it has to be false. It has to be.
Yeah.
Okay. You know,
Right.
better safe than sorry. Start saving your emergency funds. Ooh, Lori holding the first place spot.
Yes. All right. The next question is a multi-select 10 money saving tips for grocery shopping. Ooh.
These are all some good.
Wait, what are the top two? Create a shopping list. Don't stick to one store. Shop sales. Bring your own shopping bags.
I think these are all valid answers.
Shopping list is definitely one.
I'm the person who just goes to the grocery store and it's like grabbing from each shelf, grabbing stuff I don't need. Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, all of them. That was like a free for all. That was like a free for all. Oops, Stacy just went up.
Okay.
All right.
True or false?
I should have a monthly budget. This is an easy one.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody gets this one.
Yeah. Do we stick to it though? Do we stick to it? We try. We attempt.
Sometimes you have a little cheat month.
Cheat couple months. Yeah, just kind of go over. But then again, like we have to start saving up, like post-secondaries around the corner.
Yep.
But
you think.
Yeah. No.
All right.
Let's see.
I think it's true.
And it's true.
Everyone said true.
And everybody got it. Good.
Everyone gets some points.
Good.
Kevin, third place.
Alrighty. What is the final day to hand in your taxes?
I couldn't even tell you.
Y'all, did we forget?
Did it pass or is it coming up?
C-Slip made a post about it. The Equity Subcommittee made a post, a reminder, to file your taxes. So it was definitely done.
If you remember that post, then.
Yeah, if you guys keep up with the C-Split account, you would know when the taxes were due. You would know.
Ooh, 30th.
I wish it was May 1st. Some extra time.
That's today. Taxes are due today.
Tonight. So you guys at least have this evening. I don't know if that works like that. We're going to find out later on if it does work like that. Nikita just came up.
Top 3 holding their spots. I see you.
All right. Okay, do you want to see this question?
Credit is the ability to borrow money and paying it back later. True or false?
See, I hear a lot of different things about credit cards, and this and that. And I'm like,
credit cards, credit score, everything.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes, it's true.
Some people said false.
Yeah.
Yes. Hopefully we get to learn a little bit about that today.
Is indeed very true. Ooh, Kevin and Stacy.
Coming up.
What?
Yes. How much?
Can you be sorry? Holidays. No, it's okay.
Do you guys know your rights?
I don't even know. And I've been working, so maybe I've been getting scammed. Who knows?
do we have rights? Because I know there's a union, but like, do you have to be 18 to work in with one? Or is it like when you only have a career, you work within a union? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
We should know the
We
answer.
should know these things.
Yeah, like this is our money, right?
Exactly.
But
Your
okay,
regular pay.
your regular pay.
1.5. Okay. That's good to know. I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna remember that.
let our bosses know. Like, I'm not feeling well. you know? Yes.
Ooh,
Jonathan.
Jonathan coming up.
Yes. This is how you calculate your net worth. Assets minus liabilities equals equity. Hold up, that's a whole bunch of new terms.
Yeah.
Whoa.
If someone asked me to explain net worth, I would not be able to. So I'm not even gonna have my go at this question.
Yeah. Because I mean, assets, I think that's stuff that you own. Liabilities are at-risk things, I don't know. I don't know really how to explain it, but kind of like at-risk things. But I've never heard about equity, like what that means. I mean, I heard about equity, but not equity.
I mean, you're the equity director.
Equity,
so.
yeah, I know. Yeah. That'd be kind of bad if I didn't know about equity. Okay.
Kevin back in third place.
Yes, and we have one more question.
Let's see.
Finish the statement. Where the money... Do y'all know this meme? Do y'all know this meme?
Hopefully people know it. This is iconic.
Yes.
Which one is it?
I'm trying to refrain from saying it so that I don't accidentally say it. Where the money resides.
Only one person got it. Oh my gosh.
Yes. All right, guys.
Wait, we didn't see the leaderboard.
OMG. OMG. Let's see who the winner is. Dun, dun, dun.
Third place, Kevin. Hey. Second place, Stacy. Okay, Stacy. And first place, Lori.
Hey. Okay, Lori knows her financial stuff. She knows her financial stuff. She has some financial literacy. That's cool.
Good for you.
All right. So, oh my gosh. I've never heard of equity. That's pretty bad. I hope people don't quote me on that in the future. That'd be pretty bad.
It'll creep up behind you one day.
Yeah, just like, girl, what are you doing with your job right now? But yeah, you know what, guys? We'll give you a break from me, Michaela's banter, and the Kahoot, right? Right now, we're going to call up Serenity to come and introduce the person who is here to speak to us today. Hey,
yes.
Serenity.
Hi, guys. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Rebecca and Michaela, for doing that Kahoot.
Of course.
Honestly, I didn't even know half that stuff. So that really says a lot now, doesn't it? So, anyways, hi everyone. My name is Serenity. I'm a grade 11 student from Bishop Morocco, Thomas Merton, and I will be introducing our guest speaker, who is actually also my brother, Kevin No. So, Kevin is an alumni from University of Guelph Humber and has been a certified public accountant for 10 years now. He's been passionate about teaching financial literacy for years, making sure that he is able to help Canadians pay less in taxes and maximize their profits. He's taught and still is teaching financial literacy classes that can vary from 20 to 3,000 people. He's been so inspired throughout the past years that he's even founded and is still running his own tax firm called No Tax. Not only does he really care about financial literacy among our Canadian society, but he is also a happy-go-lucky guy who is a frequent League of Legends player. And today he will be talking to us about financial literacy and is more than happy to answer any questions. So without further ado, here is Kevin. Hey.
As you guys mentioned, it's so funny that you guys are talking about tax, but I was actually doing tax off last night, and I couldn't move into my new condo till now, and I'm actually not even moved in yet because I'm still doing taxes in the car, right before this money class. So, um, just make sure you get your tax in today, right? So yeah, just a little bit more about myself. I graduated at the University of Gulf Humber, like Serenity said, and I was working as a controller at the age of 25, making pretty good money, but I don't make money. And it's actually pretty funny that, even after you go to school to get your CPA, money, teach about budgeting. So, congrats, you guys. I'm so happy.
Ooh, wait, the connection.
Oh no.
I'll go over a little bit more on some strategies, your system.
I don't know if you hear us.
And for me, it's so important.
Wi-Fi is cutting out a lot.
Yeah, okay, just give it a second. He's moving today, actually, so maybe that might be the reason why.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's coming
that
in.
Oh, my internet's cutting out. 1 second.
Okay, you're back. You're good.
You're good now. Okay.
Oh, sorry about that. My internet was cutting out. So I mean, super, this information is super important because I graduated university 4 years and 3 years of doing my designation with like $70,000 of student loan debt, and it was a very very dark road ahead. And once you guys graduate, I'm sure you want to start thinking about house, family, travel, whatever it is, and you're gonna need money for that, right? So this is a good time to start. Can we change to the next slide? All right, this is a disclaimer. This is not financial advice or tax advice. This is educational purposes only. Discuss with a financial advisor or an accountant if you want to get deeper into it. But again, this is for educational purposes only. And I know there's a limit of time, so I just want to pick the key concepts that's going to help you that you can have some takeaways with. Right. Next slide. So today's agenda: saving money, debt, investing, taxes, protection, and some overall advice. Next slide. I feel like a boss. I'm just like, next slide. But so here's the thing: graduates, college graduates, just like myself, we spent like 16 years in school, but none of those times anyone taught us about money. Not even doing our taxes. What is credit? What is credit cards? What is debt? How do you save? Nobody taught us anything like that. And even in accounting class, when you take accounting class, they teach you about the asset, the liability, the equity. But how do you apply that to your own personal life, right? Next slide. Okay, saving money. When to save money and when to invest. So we talked about this, and you should have at least 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. And what is an emergency fund? Well, that depends on you. Right now, you guys are probably not renting, but let's say, for example, if you are renting or you have your own house, you need to have at least three months of your rent payment, right? 3 months of your rent payment, and obviously food and all that stuff. So you need 3 months of your expenses in your emergency fund. Why? Well, COVID. COVID could happen again. Hopefully not, fingers crossed, but something like COVID happens, and a lot of people got screwed over because they don't have an emergency fund. And luckily, we're in Canada. We got government support and everything like that. But a lot of people are going bankrupt. They're not having enough money to even eat. A lot of people getting evicted. So we have to plan for the unexpected and a rainy day. That's why saving money is important. But will it make you rich? No. So let's take a look at this example: saving earlier and saving later. So if you can see, sorry, can we make the slide bigger? Nice, thanks. If you can see the slide here, Person A, Mr. Start Early, and person B, Mr. Wait Longer. So you see, Mr. A, Mr. Start Early, when he invests in, you know, at the age of 25, right, $3,600 a year till the age of 31. What is that? What is that total amount that he is saving there? So 3,600 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 years, 3,600 times 6 years, that's $21,600 of savings, right? And then Mr. Wade later says, you know what, Kevin, I don't want to save now. I just graduated from uni and I want to travel. I want to go clubbing. I want to party. So I'm going to wait till a little bit later. So he, you know, doesn't copy me and doesn't take my advice on saving early and starts saving later. So how long? So when does he start? He starts at the age of 32 to 46. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He says for the next 17 years. But guess what? I stopped. After 6 years, I stopped because I'm like, you know what? What I saved early was enough because I learned about how money works and compound interest, which we'll get into later. But Mr. Wait later saves for the next 17 years at 3,600. So he puts in a total of $61,200 into his savings. Now we both get to the age of 48 and we both look at our bank account. Well, I have 128,000 and he has 131,000. It looks like he has more money. Absolutely. But guess what? He had to put in $61,200. I only put in 25,200. That's a $40,000 difference, and we get to almost at the same place. An extra $40,000, is a lot of money. You can buy a condo, you can buy a car, you can have your vacation, many years of vacations for that 40,000, right? So that's the importance of saving earlier versus waiting longer. There's a cost to waiting, right? There's a cost to um waiting and investing. So that's why you should save early if you can. I started. I opened an RSP, so a registered retirement savings plan, at 18. I was reading the newspaper, going to uni, and I was reading it on the subway, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I should start, and I put in $50 every single month. So I've been saving since I was 18. Too bad I was only putting away $50 a month. I wish I knew more about how money grows. I would have did more money, right? Next slide. Okay, so let's talk about debt now. So unfortunately, there's not many stats on Canadians, so we have to take American stats. But 46% of Americans carry a credit card balance every month. 56% of Americans use credit cards for convenience and do not carry over a balance. So that's half of Americans that use a credit card and can't pay it off. We're in the society where I know you guys are going to uni soon, and the first thing you'll see, like BMO, CIBC, RBC there during Frosh Week, giving out credit cards, $500 credit limit. Very easy to get credit cards, and you being a student, your friends go out. Even for me, when my friends went out, I went out. There's a lot of FOMO, right? So I'm not gonna miss out on any event. I'm like, hey, I'll come, and then every weekend, right? And then it's like, oh man, I have all this debt. How do I pay it off? And then there's credit card interest as well, right? That's extra money that you're paying to the bank. Next slide. Okay, Americans. So this is a slide that shows I don't know who's dating, who's not dating right now, but money is not your issue right now. But a lot of your parents, I've seen a lot of parents fight about money. I've seen a lot of older couples fight about money, and it's really straining on a relationship. Money problem is one of the biggest problem, and is one of the biggest cause of anxiety. Anxiety is another big cause of any other major health major health issues, right? And when you argue with your spouse, if you look at these statistics, American couples who have debt of over $50,000, 50% of them say that money is the top issue that they fight about. Hey, you can't get something for your girlfriend's birthday or your boyfriend's birthday, right? Then your relationship isn't going to last very long. Oh, and especially with today, I know it's bad, but it's a culture of social media and Instagram and TikTok and seeing people with fancy houses and stuff, and then you wonder, hey, when's my life going to get there, right? So then there's pressure on both couples, and obviously it's social media, so we shouldn't really you know take it to heart, but people do compare. And so when you do have a lot of debt, there's a lot of things that you cannot do, right? You can't go on a date. You can't buy new clothes, right? And so debt is not something that you want to carry. And just not something you people lose hair over debt, right? So manage your debt. Don't even get into debt in the first place. Start saving, right? Next slide. All right. Student loan debt. Right now, it's in the trillion. 1.6 trillion dollars is student loan debt, right? In the US. Canada is trailing behind. I know cost of university and college in Canada is not as much as in the US, but Canada is going to get there. Cost of university has been rising over the last 20 years in Canada, and I know for some of you might want to go to the US. So, yeah, this is a big issue that you want to tackle. The last thing you want to, hey, I just graduated, but I have 70,000, 100,000, $150,000 in debt, so you can't really do anything, right? And then you start working, and then that's not fun either. Trillion, yes, trillion, trillion. Next slide. So investing. Why do you need to invest? Because there's this thing called inflation, and it's the silent killer. We always hear our parents. Next, can you press next? um, we always hear our parents complain about buying groceries, like, oh, cost of groceries going up. But if you look at inflation, for example, $20 in 1998 could buy you a big shopping cart of groceries. Look at 2005. Look at 2013. Now, I'm gonna date myself here for a little bit, but when I was in high school, when I took out a date, $20 got me, a ticket to the movies. I was able to buy some popcorn. I was able to, buy a little meal and then treat her out and, make it a nice date. But nowadays, $20 can't even get you two movie tickets. So you have $20, you're like, oh, I can't even go on a date because then, what about the popcorn? What about the drinks? Those little things, right? So yeah, $20 used to go a long way. I know some of your teachers, they talk about 50-cent chocolate bars or 25-cent movies, and I'm like, oh boy, right? So inflation is a silent killer. If you do not invest, your money is going to lose its value. So that's why you hear a lot about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And I know that there's two sides to the coin for that, right? To that story. So I'm not going to go into that. Very controversial right now, but people are looking for ways to hedge and mitigate their risk for inflation. If you leave your money in the bank and just save, you will definitely lose money. Right? That's a different class on itself. Next slide. So let's play a little game. Maybe Michaela, do you want to play a little game with me?
Should we get Michaela up here? Michaela.
Hey, yeah, for sure.
Okay, sure. All right. So I know you rated yourself 4.5 or 5 on your knowledge of money, right?
Yes.
And that's okay. But let me ask you this. Let's play a little game. And this is just to demonstrate the power of investing in compound interest, right? So if I were to give you $1 million today, okay? If I were to say, hey, Michaela, I'll give you $1 million today, or I'll give you a penny that doubles every single day for the next month. So in May, starting May, starting tomorrow on a single day, what would you want? Do you want the penny or do you want the $1 million?
I feel like the penny, since you said it doubles every day.
Are you sure?
Because wouldn't that like, well, okay, let me think about this because I'm talking
Are you
without
sure you
thinking.
can do a lot with $1 million?
You said a month, right? Like only a
31
month?
days. 31 days, yes. 31 days.
Okay, no, I definitely take the $1 million.
All right. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Can we click next to see what happens on day number 1? All right. Okay. So on day number 1, I give you the penny. Or sorry, the penny grows. I give you the $1 million, and the penny is 1 penny. And now let's see on Tuesday. Okay, it's 2 cents now. Okay, let's see Wednesday. 4 cents. Let's see Thursday. 8 cents. You still want the $1 million, right?
I think I still want the $1 million.
All right. Okay. Let's see what happens on Friday, the 5th. Okay, 16 cents. Saturday, 32. The 7th, 64. The 8th, the 9th, the 10th, 11, the 12th, 13, 14. You still want the million?
Can I change my mind?
You still want the million? You still want the million?
I don't know. This is looking kind of good. It keeps going up at this rate.
All right, let's see what happens from 16 to the 22nd.
Okay. Oh gosh, see, it's going up pretty fast.
Okay, you still think your million's a good choice, or you want
I'll take the penny.
You take the penny now. You switch the penny.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens to the 29th day. So yeah, it's a good switch.
I'm glad I changed my mind.
Let's see what happens on day 30th. Yeah, let's see what happens. You want to see what's the amount on day 30th and 31st?
Let's see it.
All right.
That's
$10 million from just 1 penny. So that's a good switch, right? Most people, just like you and me, we would have taken the $1 million up front, but you would have lost out on $9.7 million.
If you don't do the math at first, then you're definitely missing out.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. So this illustration changes, big difference. Okay, small changes, big difference. And most people are not patient enough. Today, honestly, if my phone doesn't load or if I start cutting out, some people would have turned off this money class. It's all taking too long, right?
Yeah.
But with money, you have to be patient and you have to give it time to grow. You really get rewarded in later days. So what this is not 31 days. You guys are for 31 or something like that, right? You'll be 50 years old by the time you're 31 years. But man, having 10.7 million by the time you're 51 is not a joke. A lot of parents still are not at the $1 million mark, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Michaela, for playing the game. Let's go to the next slide. All right, let's talk about the rule of 72. Okay, yep, next. Let's do 3 times. Okay, so the rule of 72. So the rule of 72 is a rule that was discovered by Albert Einstein. So he did make some other things besides E = mc squared, but I didn't learn this in science class, and no one talked to me about this in math class, and I wonder why. Okay, so the rule of 72 is very simple. It just tells you how long does it take for money to double. Okay, so for example, if you're investing in something that gives you 4% rate of return, so you take 72 divided by 4, which is 18 years.
Kevin?
which is 18 years. So let's say
Can
you're
you hear
age
me?
29. The next 18 years, when you're 47, the money doubles from 10,000 to 20,000, right? And from 47 to 65, that's the next 18 years, it's going to grow from 20,000 to $40,000. So that's how long it takes for money to double. So let me ask you guys this. Do you guys know how much interest the bank gives you? You don't have to answer me. Just Google it right now. The
Kevin?
bank gives you less than 1%. Okay, the bank gives you less than 1% interest. So can you imagine how long it takes for you to for your money to double in a high interest saving account? 72 by
Real
1,
quick.
72 years. That's how long it's going to take for your money to double. Can we click next, like 4 or 5 times?
Kevin, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Can you
Did I
like,
cut out?
yeah, can you really quickly just explain that concept again? Because it was like really scratchy, but I want
Oh,
people to
okay.
understand it.
Oh, sorry. Right. Okay. So the rule 72, shows you how long does it take for money to double, right? So if you found an investment at 4% at the age of 29, you put in 10,000. So 72 divided by 4 is 18. So by the time you're 47, your 10,000 will go to 20,000. By the time you're from 47 to 65, your 20,000 is going to go to 40,000. So right now, where do you find an investment of 4%? If you were to go into the bank and just put your money into savings account, Tangerine has the highest savings rate. It's a high interest savings account with Tangerine Bank, and it gives you 1%. So you take 72 divided by 1, which is 72. So if you had 10,000, it's going to take you 72 years for your 10,000 to double one time. I don't have that time. Okay. I do not have that time. And none of you guys have that time either. So this is why you need to learn where to invest and how compound interest works. Can we press next like 4 times? Okay, one more. Okay. If you found an investment of 8%, 72 divided by 8 is 9. So that means that your money doubles every single 9 years. So if you're 29, your 10,000 you put in. By 38, it's going to be 20,000. By 47, 40,000. By 56, 80,000. By 65, 160,000. All right. Can we press next like 4 times or 5 times? Let's go all the way to the end to 65. All right. Now, if you guys found an investment that's 12%, 72 divided by 12 is 6. So your money doubles every 6 years. So if you're 29, you put in 10,000, 35, 20, 41, 40, 47, 80, 53, 160, 59, 320, 65, $640,000. Look, me and you, Lori, we only have a certain amount of time to live, right? We, we have one time to get to 65. We only get to 65 one time in our lifetime. So our decisions matter. The decision that you made coming on to today's money class matters. The person that doesn't know how to invest will choose an investment that is not optimal, right? So, um, you know, most people want to play it safe and they're going to put their money in the 4% investment. Guess what? Their 10,000 grows to 40,000. I know how to invest. I know how to grow money. I picked the 12%. My 10,000 grows to 640,000 in the same lifespan. In the same lifespan, I made $600,000 more. What is 600,000? Right? So the median income, the average income for an individual in Canada is around $40,000. So can you imagine how long would it take you to save $640,000? This is the cost of not understanding. So I hope you guys really take in this concept and really apply it. So imagine if you guys take on a credit card, if you read the fine print for the credit card, it's 21% interest. If you guys don't pay off your credit card balance, 72 divided by 21, that's like 3.5 years. your credit card interest, the money that you owe to the bank, is going to double every 3.5 years. All right. Next slide. Okay, yep. So Albert Einstein said this: compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. This is what he means by investing versus holding your money in debt. Okay. So please start looking, of savings your account. And I know Serenity, for example, she's already learned this stuff in the last 2 years. So she's already been saving money, and I encourage every single parent, when you guys become parents, start saving for your kids at the age of 0, the first day they are born. Put away money, right? So they have time for money to grow. Next slide. Okay, 42.5%. That's a big number. That's how much you guys pay in taxes. On average, Canadian pays on average, Canadian, for every single dollar that you guys make, 42.5 cents goes toward taxes. Next slide. Where is your tax coming? Where is your tax going from? Income tax. Okay, you work, you make money. And on your paycheck, I know when you guys work, you guys are going to see that they deduct CPP and EI, employment insurance, and Canadian pension plan. On top of that, you have to pay HST. On top of that, you have to pay excess tax. Okay, excess tax or alcohol, if you guys can drink, alcohol tax, tobacco tax, gas tax, blah, blah, blah tax. There's so much taxes that the government label other taxes. So if you guys ever book a hotel room or a flight, you guys will see so much taxes. It's unbelievable. There's so much taxes on the bill. And most people don't think about it. But every single dollar that you make, 42.5 cents goes toward taxes. So imagine this. If you had a full-time job, if you're working from January to May just to pay the government. Okay? Lori, great. Start learning how to tax plan, get your taxes done early, talk to an accountant. That's probably the best thing that you're going to do for you guys. So from January to May, you're working just to pay the government in taxes. Everything else is going to be gravy, right? Everything else is good. But from January to May, that's going toward taxes. Next slide. Tax savings idea. Be self-employed. Nowadays with COVID, have a side hustle. The government encourages individuals to have a side hustle, to have a side business, because there's tax deductions for it. Open a corporation. I know this is way beyond this class, but let's just give an example. If you make $100,000 of income, your taxes would be around 40%. So you lose 40,000. If you make $100,000 inside a corporation, your tax is 12.5%. So 12,500. I'm not good at math, but for simplicity's sake, having a corporation, you're going to save around $28,000 of taxes. $28,000 of tax in 12 months. So I'm not good at math again. Let's pull my calculator. 28,000 divided by 12. That's an extra $2,300 a month. $2,300 a month. That's a vacation every single month. Okay, that's a vacation. Capital gains. So that's why people invest in real estate. Capital gains tax is only 50% of the normal rate. Take advantage of all the investments account that the government have for you, like the registered savings plan, the tax-free savings account. My recommendation, when you turn 18, if some of you are not 18 yet, the first thing you do is go to the bank, open a tax-free savings account, okay? And nowadays, you can do it on your phone with Wealthsimple, with Questrade. You don't even have to go to the bank. You don't even have to line up. How much do you have to put in there? $25. Save 3 Starbucks or 4 Starbucks, whatever the cost is. $25 a month, right? That's all you need to start, and it's going to compound and grow. And you've seen my calendar for the compound interest. So you see how much money can grow that way, right? And of course, tax planning. Accountants are one of your best friends, okay? Accountants are one of your best friends. So make friends with an accountant. and tax plan. Tax planning is the most underutilized plan or utilized thing that's out there. Um, but the rich people do it, so should we. And I know there's controversy about over Donald Trump and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk when it comes to the subject of tax, but they are individuals that are influential, right? They are doing something right. They are adding value to the world, and that's why they are where they are, and they are taking advantage of this, right? Elon Musk even went out of his way to move to Texas just for tax savings, right? So people do all kinds of odd things for taxes, and I know this is not good to point out, but the most common type of crime is tax crime, tax fraud. Okay, if anyone here has shopped at a flea market or paid someone in cash, you committed tax fraud and tax crime, right? But there's a difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. Okay, tax avoidance is what Donald Trump does. Play by the rules and just dodge it, right? Tax evasion is what Al Capone does. Al Capone, gangster extraordinaire. With the alcohol prohibition, he only got caught because of tax evasion. He didn't get caught because they caught him smuggling alcohol. They caught him because he was tax evasion. Pay your tax, right? Pay your tax, but do it in the most efficient way possible. Next slide. Okay. Here is what is your biggest asset. Okay, so this is good. So let's stay here. What is your biggest asset? Your biggest asset is yourself. When you learn accounting or something, the company says asset is a machine, it's a revenue generating unit. Well, so are you, so are we. We spent so many years in school. We developed our brain. We paid $40,000 to go to university or college to enhance our ability to make money. We are an asset, so we have to protect ourselves. If you become a doctor and something happens to your hands, you can no longer work. And guess what? Your $150,000 student loan debt is still going to be there. So protect yourself, right? Protect your life. I know if anything happens to me, my family, my mom, my sister, they're going to be well off. I don't want to leave them with debt. I don't want to leave them with my credit card debt, my student loan debt. I don't have any more student loan debt. I don't have any more credit card debt since I learned about financial literacy. But protect yourself. Car insurance. That's why it's mandatory to have car insurance, right? Because accidents happen, right? Home insurance, you never know. It's here's a funny story. Like, the most careful person should be our parent, but this morning my mom set the alarm on fire. Like she burned a plastic thing in the stove, and it's like she's like, oh, I just forgot it, but this is your parents, right? And you never know when life happens. COVID happens. A lot of people die because of COVID. So protect yourself, protect your family. You are your biggest asset. And for me, I want to leave the next generation with a lot of opportunities. I want my kids to go to school because I want my kids to go to school for the thing that they want. I remember growing up, my mom's like, we go to school, work hard, get a high paying job, blah blah blah, become a doctor. I became an accountant. So I'm like, Mom, I fix companies. I don't fix people. I don't know how to fix people, but I can fix company, So I ended up being an accountant. But you don't want to force your kids to do something that they don't want to. You don't want to say, hey, get a part-time job in high school because we need money and all this kind of things. I don't want to do that to my kids. And growing up and being from an immigrant family in Canada, I've seen a lot of messed up stuff that our parents had to do for us. And make sure you leave something behind, right? Leave something behind that when your kids were like, oh, Auntie Stacy, Auntie Rebecca, they remember you for something good, not, oh, good riddance, Next slide. Yes, so make sure you guys do it right. Building your financial foundation is just like building a house. The first thing you want to do is protect yourself, because if you don't protect yourself and you lose your job, debt is going to come. Okay, and the debtors are not nice. they're not going to stop coming because you cannot walk, because you cannot work. So you're going to rack up debt, right? But after you protect yourself, manage your debt. You do not want debt. After that, have an emergency fund and then invest last. Why do I say invest last and not invest first? Well, life happens. COVID might happen and you might need to pull your money. But guess what? If you guys look at the stock market on, yeah, rich auntie, right? If you guys see the stock market on March or April, I forgot when COVID hit, but guess what? It dipped. And that's when people needed their money the most. That's when you were scared, right? You pull out your money, half your money's gone. You don't want to do that. I seen a lot of my relatives pulled out during 2008 because they were scared, and now they don't have a retirement anymore. They lost more than half of their money inside of their RSP, their registered retirement savings plan. So make sure you build this foundation. It's very easy. It's just like building a house. You build a strong foundation, no matter what kind of wind, what kind of storm comes your way, nothing's gonna matter. I've seen a lot of single moms, a lot of single dads that can't carry on after one of the spouse or couple pass away, right? And a lot of females um gets married out of necessity, right? They marry someone because they need someone to take care of the kids or someone that can provide financial stability, and that's not what you want to look for in a partner. So if there's any guys out there, do the right thing for your partner, right? Do the right thing, guys. Next. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, you guys can follow me on my Instagram. You guys can email or you guys can ask now. I don't know if we have time for questions. I know that was a lot of information and I tried to compress it into easy to understand manner. And I'm sorry for the disconnection of my Wi-Fi. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, do we have any time, Rebecca? Or should they just email me, or how would you guys want to do this?
I think it's best if are you okay with everybody emailing you?
Yeah, sure. Hit me up on Instagram or email me. That's my email. I'm not gonna reply till maybe next week because I gotta wrap up some taxes right now as well for my clients. So
yes, thank you so much, Kevin.
yeah.
Thank you. Right now we have Lori and Aurora.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Kevin. That was really helpful. I personally really liked how you talked about starting early and investing early. And I like how you compared the difference between someone who starts early and someone who waits longer. I think that was really helpful.
Yeah, and I really liked how you talked about how the value of money is constantly decreasing and how investing can truly make a difference in your profit. Okay.
Definitely.
So now we are going to have a little icebreaker for you guys, which is always fun. But first, let me introduce myself. So my name is Lorena. I go to Cardinal Carter and I'm in grade 9.
And hi, everyone. My name is Aurora. I'm in grade 11 and I go to Monsignor Percy Johnson.
Yeah, so we have a little Mentimeter for you guys. And what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to go to so you're going to go to www.menti.com, and then I'll give you guys the code quickly.
I'm excited to see everyone's responses for this. It's going to be really good. Okay. So the first question that we want to know from you guys is which universities or colleges are you currently interested in attending?
So to vote, you guys can go to www.menti.com and the code is 89499326. So Aurora, which ones are you thinking of?
So I am in grade 11, so it's definitely soon. Right now I'm debating between University of Toronto and York University. I'm still not too sure. Maybe by the summer I'll have a more for sure plan. But what about you, Lori?
Well, I'm only in grade 9, so I haven't really had a chance to think about it. But I I'm probably gonna stay here in Toronto. Well, I'm probably either gonna stay here in Toronto, go to whatever I can get into, hopefully like Ryerson or U of T. But maybe I might like do something international, which could be really cool.
Awesome. That sounds really cool. And you definitely still have time, so that's great.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
seeing University of Toronto, Queen's, University of Ottawa, Seneca Ryerson, York University, University of Ottawa again, Carleton,
Nice.
University of Waterloo, Centennial or Ryerson, Wilfrid Laurier, and like so many more, which
Wow,
is,
there's definitely a lot. Okay, that's great.
yeah, Humber. All great options, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll give you guys a little moment to vote, and then we'll move on.
I think I'm planning on staying in Toronto just because right now the COVID situation, I'm not too sure how going international would be. But maybe in the future, after like the first 4 years, I would really like to study somewhere else outside of Canada. So we'll see how that goes, hopefully.
Yeah. It really all depends on
Yeah,
what's going to happen.
there's a lot of uncertainty right now, but everything will work out. So we'll see. All right. I think we can move on to the next one.
Okay, so which pathway are you planning on studying? So this can be an arts-related major, a science and math-related major, an environment-related major, a business-related major, an engineering and technology major, a literature, language, and social science major. And if you can't think of anything that fits into those categories, you can put other, which is completely fine.
Okay, we're getting answers. What are you planning on, Lori?
Well, I actually am debating, but my mind changes all the time. So I'm thinking of going into like either engineering and technology, something around along those lines. But something that's like one of my dreams of mine is like going to culinary school, which I think
Oh,
could be
wow.
really cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds amazing. Yeah, I'm still debating too. I really want to do psychology at the moment. So I might go into sciences and social sciences. I'm going to see.
Yeah, that could be really cool.
Mhm.
But then again, it
Alright.
always depends on the future.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people for literature, language, and social sciences, which is really
Awesome.
cool. 2 people for science and math related majors, 3 people for arts related majors, and then 1 for other. If you're the person that put other, feel free to type in the chat what you guys were
Yeah,
thinking.
of course.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got most of the responses. So thank you everyone for participating, and we hope you enjoyed that. Right now, I would like to call on Melina, and she is going to give you some amazing student resources.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Lori. Bye, Lori.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, everybody. My name is Melina Tespe. I'm in grade 10. I go to St. John Paul Secondary School, and currently I'm an IB student. So today I will, both in grade 9 and grade 10, I have switched from academic to IB. So I do know how stressful homework can be and the course load for both academic and IB. So the resource I've provided for you is a homework help website from Toronto Public Library. The first thing that pops up when you go to this link is the Academic One file. These shows articles from scholarly and general interest magazines and journals on current events for general science, technology, social sciences, arts, and humanities. This link showed me some very interesting things for social sciences since I plan on going into psychology in university or college. It also shows Canada in context, basically articles, videos, audio files, websites for a broad range of Canadian topics, people, places, and events. It really helped me for a geography class and essays for grade 10 history. Next will be online courses. The one that I really enjoy is Gale courses because it's instructor led. So there'll be a person actually teaching you instead of just like a video of a recording. It's basically for accounting. So I personally am horrible when it comes to money or anything college readiness. Like I'm pretty messed up when it comes to that. So for anybody who also has trouble with it, I really hope you guys can check that out. Another thing, for IB, we are required to do 4 years in French, and something that could help all of you guys study or do it on your own time, maybe in summer school or maybe even after high school, is the Mango languages. It has 71 different languages and English as a second language for any ESL learners. Another section is test preparation and practice. Since I know how hard it can be in academic and IB, I know test preparation, especially for math or sciences, can be really difficult. One that, especially if you're going to do the SAT or ACTs. So for that, I recommend the Learning Express library. It can really help you guys. Also for people doing Canadian citizenship tests or any other standardized tests. And last but not least, for homework help would be tutoring. For me, I have a lot of trouble for memorizing, different things for any sciences and history tests. So I recommend the Brain Fuse section. It's for people kindergarten to grade 12. And that would be all for homework help. For the mental health section, when COVID-19 started for me, I was just in grade 9 and we were going, and right at March, we started doing the lockdowns and it lasted for a year and about 2 years now. And I know how stressful it can be, especially if you're doing academic or IB or any STEM programs. So I recommend really going into any mental health outlets to help you guys out, because it can be really stressful over time. At first, you guys will be like, no, I don't need any help. But trust me, everybody needs to have one outlet, at least one outlet for any mental health reasons, because the homework pile up will be a lot for everybody, especially now. And especially for people who have just come into a new school or people who just switched into a specialized program. And these sites will be ready for you guys for 24/7 every single day. These psychologists will be online for everybody, and it's a really big help. It really has been for me as well. And that will be all for me. And up next will be 2 people talking about university options here in Ontario.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our university discussion section to this part of the webinar. And we have a special guest, Logan Louis. Logan Louis is currently an executive member of the New Democratic Party in Toronto, St. Paul's, a former ambassador for French for the Future, a current member of the Constituency Youth Council of Toronto, St. Paul's under the patronage of the Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations, and is currently a student at St. Michael's Choir School. He was recently appointed as a delegate at the convention of the New Democratic Party of Canada. He will be undertaking studies at the University of Toronto in social sciences in the fall of 2021. Here is Logan.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Logan. And I'm Kayla. I go to Madonna. I'm currently at St. Anne's right now, but I'm also part of the Black Alliance subcommittee, and I'm involved in several other different leadership positions at my MCS community. As for my university options, I'm still undecided, so we're just going to see about that in a few weeks. But yes. So we're going to be doing an interview with Logan. I'm going to go through some of the questions to start. So the first one we have is, what should I do to help make deciding what school I want to attend easier?
So I know that's been difficult this year. for people because, you know, we can't go and see our universities, especially if they're far away. So really, there are kind of three university vibes almost. So you have a university like the University of Toronto or the University of Ottawa, which is there isn't really any boundary between the university community that you'll be in and the city itself. And then we have on the opposite side universities that, you know, are much more isolated. They're much more of kind of a close-knit community. So those are universities like University of Guelph, Laurentian University is another one. And then there's ones that are in between. So places like Queen's University, they're still kind of their own thing, but they still take part in the life of the city of Kingston. So that's something that you can look at. Also, look at the programs. What do they specialize in? So for instance, if we're looking at going into English literature and we're looking at McMaster University, we might want to take into account that what does McMaster prioritize? And also we have to remember that in funding for universities will give more funding to stuff that they prioritize. So if we're going to McMaster for English literature, is McMaster known for English literature? Not necessarily. It's not a bad university for it, but it's not their focus. Their focus is more of a science focus, nursing, medical school. That's their focus. So those are the two main things. And then also, you know, I know a lot of people are going to stay in Toronto for COVID. So really, I would say if you want more of an isolated university experience, like I described with Laurentian or with Guelph, I would say that York is still not going to be as isolated as you might want, but it's a great option. And then if you want something that's kind of really in with the city, more multicultural, great options are the University of Toronto St. George campus, which is the downtown one, and Ryerson University. So those are kind of some general criteria. And if anyone has any questions, we'll have a question period at the end if you want to ask about a specific university.
Yes, that was very helpful because I need to be able to, come up with the easier option for me. But the second question is, what are the best law schools, fine arts, or business schools, or other options?
So let's start with fine arts, because I saw a couple of people saying arts, and I wasn't sure if it was Bachelor of Arts or Visual Arts. So if we're talking about fine arts, you live in Toronto, we have OCAD. OCAD is literally the Ontario College of Art and Design. When you're going to a place to study, if there is a place that specializes again in the stuff that you're wanting to do, go to that one, because all of their funding, especially at OCAD, all of their funding will go to fine arts. If you don't want to go to OCAD for some reason, Ryerson is a great option. They're also very good at design. And then the University of Toronto St. George campus has the Daniels Faculty of Architecture and Design. So that's also something to look at. Now, business school, we have fantastic business schools in the city of Toronto. We have Rotman at the University of Toronto, and I believe it's Schulich at York. I'm not sure though if it's Schulich at York, but the York one's also very good. Law school, there is a common misconception that I keep on hearing. So when you're going into what we call your undergraduate year, which is out of high school, you cannot go to law school inside of Canada. We cannot do that straight out of high school. You need your 4 years of a bachelor's degree, preferably in what we call a Bachelor of Arts, which is something basically that's not science. So it's not medicine, it's not biology or physics. We do that after we complete our undergraduate degree, which is the 4 years of study in university right out of high school. So what you'll do typically, unless there is a program at the University of Ottawa, but you have to speak fluent French. And I don't mean, French immersion class, although you could do it for French immersion class. You have to be able to be at a French level, which is very high, like almost born speaking French high. And there is a program at the University of Ottawa, which is the Bachelor of Social Science and Political Science and Juris Doctor. That is the one exception, I believe, in the whole country, unless you go to Quebec. Otherwise, you're going to be doing your 4 years bachelor, and then you're going to be doing your 3 years of law school after that.
Okay, this is a lot of good stuff. I know for me, I'm going to be asking Logan even more questions after this because he's giving really good answers. But here is another question. I think a lot of people also have this question, and it's something I've definitely considered. Is it wise to work during your first year of university or college?
So, if you have to work, of course, work. Like we just had our cash money class. Don't go into debt if you don't have to. But it's generally not advisable to go work in your first year. The reason why, and this is going to sound very blunt, but there is this common saying in the university spheres, first year is meant to break you. And it doesn't mean, oh, they want you to leave. What that means is, universities, especially because of, some of the stereotypes, some people think that going to university is going to be a party. It's a party school. We're going to stay up until 3 a.m. and storm all the frats and all of that stuff. So what universities do during their first years is they make it more difficult than the other years because they want to root out the people who aren't there to actually get the education, but are just there to party. So generally, you might find that your first year is very hard, and it's meant to be that way. If you're committed, if you want that degree, you will survive it, I guarantee you. They just make it hard on purpose. So I would say if you have to, there's no shame in working during your first year. You might have to, stay up a bit later to do some of that homework, but otherwise, I would say refrain from working during your first year. Plus, if you really do want to work, do it in between university. Get an internship in the summer somewhere in your field. There's many available, and people just don't take advantage of them or don't put their name out there because they think that they're not going to get it. There's no risk, really. You're just putting in your resume, right? So I would say it's okay, but don't if you don't have to.
And what about, paid co-op? How would that help?
So paid co-op is different. I wouldn't view it as work because usually I'm going to use, because I had a real interest in this university, the University of Ottawa as an example. Your co-op is not alongside your studies. If you'll notice when you look at a co-op option, it's you go to university for a semester and then you do co-op for the semester. You're not at university at the same time because that co-op is usually giving you credits as well as pay, but it's not paid at all universities. It is at most. Co-op is different. So if you can get co-op during your first year, I wouldn't consider it working. It's just studying by working, and it's not concurrent. Concurrent, of course, means at the same time. It's not concurrent with your studies. It's separated.
Okay, switch it up a little bit. Talk about studying abroad. I know a lot of people want to travel the world while they're still in school. And what do you have to say about that?
Studying abroad is often a dream for many people. And what I'm going to say about this is that, again, if you don't have to, don't. Because Canada has some of the best university education in the world. Period. We have 3 hugely prestigious universities here in Toronto. Other cities, you can go to LA or Denver, and, they'll have that 1 or 2 good universities, and then they'll have 5 other ones that aren't recognized at all. Generally, and I'll say this especially for the US, Canada has some of the best standardization of universities, which means that all universities, they might not be as recognizable, but you're going to get the same quality of education, just maybe delivered in different ways. In other countries, it is not like this. In the US, some of these universities, especially if they're in, areas that have less funding for education, really, you'll be learning the same stuff that you did in high school in Canada. There's a huge discrepancy between, the elite universities in other countries and then the regular ones. So I would say if you want to study abroad, I would look if you can get into an Ivy League, go. I mean, but also it's just a lot of money, and you can get the same quality of education here. And if you want to work here, get a degree for here.
Okay, it's interesting to know. And I have to reconsider studying abroad a little bit, but it's okay. Are extracurriculars important for the application process, or does it differ from school to school?
So the simple answer is no, and the complicated answer is no with an asterisk beside it. So if you're applying to programs like, I believe, U of T engineering, they might matter a little bit because you have to do what we call a supplementary application, which means, they have you fill out some facts about yourself. You're like, hi, bestie, this is who I am. Please admit me. Thank you very much. But for the vast majority of university programs in the province of Ontario, they will only look at your grades. That's it, period. Like, your grades are it. However, still do extracurriculars, because if you want that scholarship, then you need your extracurricular, right? So do your extracurriculars, but if that extracurricular is interfering with the grades that you're getting, drop it. I'm just going to say it. If it's interfering with, if you used to be getting A's and now you join this club and you're getting B minuses, drop it, because 90% of those university programs are just looking at your marks. They're looking at, oh, okay, this person got 90, 95, 85, okay, admitted. But if you're having, okay, this person got 70, 75, 85, oh, but look, there's another person on the table here who got 75, 85, 90. Who are they going to admit? It's the other person. So grades are king in Ontario university applications.
And I know for me, I've heard several teachers tell me, it's what happens after class. That's a part of your high school career as well. This is important to know. Oh, and you mentioned scholarship. What are entrance scholarships, or, what is that process like?
So entrance scholarships, I'm not your guidance counselor. So none of this advice is me as a guidance counselor. It's someone who, didn't have their mind up and ended up applying to 9 universities and getting accepted to all of them, which put me into a crisis later. So I would say the entrance scholarships can differ greatly. If you're going to U of T, it really depends on how much the university needs you. U of T, and this is again the hard truth, and I'm being blunt, U of T doesn't really need you, because they have 15 other people lined up on the block waiting to get in. So if you're expecting an entrance scholarship for U of T, it's going to be vastly harder to get it than, for instance, somewhere like Brock, who, if you get over a 90, you get $4,000 every single year. Again, entrance scholarships vary widely. Consult your guidance counselor, and more importantly, ask the university, because if you ask the university beforehand, like with me and the University of Ottawa, we actually have a relationship now. Like, they prioritize you in your mailboxes because you're obviously interested in them. So build that relationship with the admissions office of the university. So in the event that something goes horribly wrong, with your grades, or, something else happens, they at least know who you are, or have some vague idea. Like, oh, they're interested. So that's what I'll say for that.
And I know this seems kind of like a simple question, but how would, medicine, law, or specialized graduate studies, help you prepare afterwards, looking in the workforce?
So professional graduate degrees are becoming more essential in the workplace, because Canada is one of the most educated populations in the world. If you're doing it for like law, medicine, it's a given. You can't become a lawyer without a law degree. It's not possible. Used to be possible, but it's not possible anymore. But if you're doing something like, there's the Masters of Business Administration, get into the workforce first, because once you get into the workforce, you can do stuff like the executive Masters of Business Administration, which is a shorter amount of time for the same degree. So, you know, see what you want to go into first and then decide, because there are certain workplaces, like a law firm, engineering for some stuff, that you need a master's degree. You need a professional degree. That's a given. But there are certain ones, like, for instance, international affairs. Do you really need that Master's of Global Affairs to get that entry-level job? Most of the time, it's no. And be careful, because companies also don't hire people who are over-educated. Because if you're over-educated, then it's kind of incumbent on them to pay you more money. And what's the one thing that companies hate? Paying more money. So, you know, that's something. Once you get into university or college, you go to your, what I think they call it different things at different universities, but at the University of Toronto, they call it academic advisor or career services. That's when you start asking those questions. And that's when you're like, okay, do I need to get an entry-level job now, or do I pursue something else to make my resume a bit better? I would say if you need to, do it. If you don't, weigh your options, because you don't want to be overeducated.
Yeah, that sounds good. I know for me, I've been reaching out to, some current students, and they've been kind of helping me look through things and narrow things down. I think that's important too, never be afraid to DM some people, who used to go to these schools and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But can you name any schools that are best known for their school community, academics, or both?
Okay, so school community, I'll say this. Depends on what you want. Again, if you want like a sporty university, we're not like the US. You won't find the football crazy. I mean, Western to a certain extent is kind of like that. Ryerson has the Mattamy Athletic Center. But again, it's very comparable in Canada. The US generally sees university as a time to, be young. In Canada, it's more of a professional setting. A university is more, they want to make it for people who are serious about it. So if you're looking for a very academic, rigid, if you, I'll say this, if you tend to do better with stricter teachers, University of Toronto is a great option for you. To a certain extent, I'll say the Western is also good for you. Queens is definitely good for you. If you like the teacher that's kind of more, quote unquote, progressive in their education or something like that, then look at younger universities like Ontario Tech. University of Windsor is another one that's like more one of those younger universities. Ryerson. So it just depends what you want. Yeah.
All right. That is all the question, folks. Thank you so much, Logan. I'm always learning stuff from Logan, because Logan be telling me all the little, good stuff about these things. And I'm so excited for you in your future in the fall. I've been Kayla.
And I've been Logan.
And you can find me at Kayla Mir on Instagram. Feel free to ask me questions or anything like that. And here's Logan's Instagram.
Yep.
And you can definitely reach out to him.
Yes. And if anyone has any questions, you can just put them in the comments and we'll try and answer them the best that we can, especially if it's like towards certain universities.
Hey guys, I'm here. I'm popping in, and I have a question for Logan regarding residence. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So you seem like you knew about, finding scholarships and different ways to pay for schools, right? And I just wanted to get your insights in terms of living on residence or living in a house first year, or should I get the residence experience, or is experience just as important as the education?
Residence is a great idea, but it's very financially bad. I think I calculated it last for University of Ottawa residences were about 1.5 times the average rent in Ottawa, which is crazy. It really is. Now, students in residence are more likely to graduate. They are. This has been studied by like psychologists and everything. But if you're staying in Toronto, don't. Like, if you have a good family situation, if you can stay at home, don't. It's honestly a waste of money when you can just stay home. And then, you know what? If you have that money laying around, do what the person in cash money class did. Put it away. Because residence is just, especially if you're paying for your own education, it's just going to make that student debt so much worse.
Thank you so much, Logan. Guys, his Instagram is right there. I don't know if you guys were there at the Zen Doodle last time. It was like a 4-6 hour call with Logan just giving us tips about university and stuff. So feel free to hit him up. Michaela, how are you feeling?
I feel educated. I don't know about you, but I feel educated.
And guys, if you feel like this video was helpful, be sure to send the link to your friends, share it with them. I know I'm going to go back, replay, take down notes from Kevin's part, take down notes from Logan. Like, yes. And Logan, I think you definitely helped a few people out with your decision process. Thank you so much.
I hope so. I know that it's hard this year for everyone, but I will say, if you have questions about the universities are there to help you. They want you to come. So if you have questions for your guidance counselor, go to your guidance counselor. Their whole job is being a guidance counselor. Use them. And then for university, if you're interested in a university, make it known to them. Ask to speak with a recruiter so you can have like a one-on-one video call. In many universities are offering it now, where you can actually talk to people from the university and kind of gauge, the kind of vibe of the university. And if you're in Toronto and you're looking at a university, keep socially distanced, but go and look. Go take your, COVID mandated walk from Doug Ford. Just go drive and do it at like York or do it at the Ryerson campus. Like I went a couple of weeks ago and I walked around the St. George campus. Keep socially distanced, of course. Don't meet up with anyone, that kind of stuff. But it's a great it's a great thing to do if you're in Toronto. If you can't go, if you're, for instance, places in Sudbury, don't go. Respect the COVID guidelines, but talk to them. Ask to see a recruiter. Ask questions as much as you can. Look up their courses. Look up the university's name and then academic calendar. That is where all of their courses will be. So you can see, like, some universities have really cool courses, like the politics of hockey at the University of Ottawa, where they actually have a professor teaching how hockey in Canada has influenced our political system. University of Toronto, they have a whole course just dedicated to when the government made mistakes. That's the whole course. So, and then other courses, like at the University of Toronto, they have certain courses where you pay a little bit extra, and then for the course, at the end of the course, you actually get to go to see the places that you're studying. So, for instance, if you're doing a course on the, fauna and flora of Australia, at the end of the course, you go with your professor for 2 weeks to Australia to actually go and see the fauna and the flora. So look for those opportunities in the academic calendar.
Wow, traveling and studying. I definitely want to get into that for sure. I'm definitely going to look into that. But thank you so much, Logan. Thank you so much, Kayla, for asking the question.
No problem.
I'm feeling educated. I'm feeling like I'm going to go back on this video and take down notes. But until then, I'm Rebecca.
I'm Michaela.
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Logan.
And this is the Equity Subcommittee, Cash Money Class versus Student Resources and University Advice. See you guys next time.
Bye.